Hi, welcome to Live with Ms. Steph. Hi, I'm Ms. Steph, former laboratory chemist, former after-school director, and now turned founder of a STEAM education nonprofit. Our nonprofit organization is Triple F Empowerment Inc., and we operate Ms. Steph Science Club. And as I said before, I'm the Ms. Steph in the Ms. Steph Science Club. I am so glad to be with you again today. It is Monday, February 3rd, 2025. Happy Black History Month, folks. And I'm glad to be with you to do our first live of February. As per usual, the way that this works is that I come on and I say hello. I give you some Science Club news, some important dates that are coming up. And then we are going to do an activity. I will be demonstrating one of my favorite activities. I know most of them are my favorites, but this one in particular works for ages 2. Yes, I said it. Ages 2 all the way up through high school. And that can be done with actually very little modification. You don't even have to change the materials for most of the stuff. Typically, when I'm telling you, hey, an activity can work and can be differentiated all the way through all the age groups, like, you know, pre-K, all the way up to 12, there's typically a lot of modifications you have to do between each age group for most of the things that I do. Today, like, they're almost all the same. It's definitely one, all the same materials. And two, it's pretty straightforward. And we'll be doing Storm in a Cup. That's the activity. And again, one of my other favorite general materials, okay, is shaving cream. Ignore the brand. The brand is irrelevant. Okay. And in case I forget to tell you, no, this is not the water. Okay. This is not a sponsored thing. This just happens to be, I've mentioned this several times before, this particular bottle is easy to reuse. It's a very, very strong bottle, easy for me to transport, and the amount is quite a bit. It's a large amount that I can transport with me to all the different locations that I go to. So once again, we'll be doing Storm in a Cup when it's time. Cloud and Cup, there's a couple of different variations of the name. But let's hop right into your weekly Science Club news. Once again, hi, I'm Ms. Steph, and let's hop into your news. Today, like I said, is February 3rd, 2025. On Saturday, we will have Saturday Science Club at 12 p.m. and we'll be at Wadley per usual. This thing moves. I don't know if that's distracting for y'all or if you actually see. Hi, thank you for watching Live with Ms. Steph. Come on in. Thank you so much for watching. We're just going over our weekly Science Club news. And so, yes, first thing I want to talk to you about is that we do have Saturday Science Club. Keep in mind, Saturday Science Club is free for participants. And so if you have families that you're connected with and that young person they're fantastic scientists, ages 5 to 10, definitely send them my way. Send me a DM, fellow educators, if you're wanting any of your students or after schoolers or your kid, whomever, just let me know. Send me a message really quick so that I can keep an eye out for them. The process over for the Beacon, we are co-locating inside of a Beacon program. And so that means that you do need to register your young person. So they do need to have an authorized adult with them, somebody who can actually fill out paperwork for them. So for example, if you're a teacher or an after-school director or a daycare provider in the community, you do need to send said child over with their authorized adult, because paperwork is going to need to be filled out. That paperwork, I've said this before, but I do want to clarify for people who are new to our community. Hello, welcome to the Science Club community. That documentation is for the Beacon program. It is not for us. We are co-locators. And then when you sign out, there's a not a barcode, a QR code way to sign the child out. So you sign in with Beacon and you sign out with me so that everybody has the information that they need. Once again, that's a part of our agreement with them, so that documentation is not voluntary. It is mandatory, right? You know, when you're dropping your child off somewhere, you do have to fill out documentation so that we have emergency numbers and does the child have allergies, all those different types of things. There's some additional questions that are on that form. Once again, the information goes to them. It does not go to us. Now, for you people who are wondering, well, what are y'all doing right before the February break? Yes, here in New York City and surrounding areas, there is a mid-winter recess break from February 17th, okay, to February 22nd. That week, there is no programming during that week, except for on February 22nd. We are so glad to be working with a new community partner. Moho Dance is doing their 4th annual. I'm super excited too, because they're doing it in the location that I'm quite familiar with, but I've not really gotten a chance to work with this particular organization. So I'm happy to be at the Self-Love, their 4th Self-Love Fair. And so there will actually be raffles and things that are given out and all kinds of stuff. Of course, we're giving out slime. Like, come now, you know, we're going to give out something that is science-based. And it will be for free. Thank you so much for watching Live with Ms. Steph. So once again, that is on February 22nd. So let's review as far as the important dates, the public-facing events that we're doing. This Saturday, we have Club. That's February 8th from 12 to 2 p.m. Then, of course, throughout that week, we'll be doing our traveling science teacher roster, all of those folks. Hi, you know who you are. We will be visiting your sites per our regular schedule. And then on February 15th, yes, after Valentine's Day, if you happen to celebrate, on February 15th, it's a Saturday, yes, we will have Saturday Science Club on that day from 12 to 2 p.m. I am expecting to be back in our regular room because we were out of our regular room, even though this space, they always take care of us. We always have somewhere because they were painting. But I do expect to be in our regular room for the 8th and for the 15th. Then on between February 17th through 21st, there's no program. Traveling science teacher folks, I've already told you, but this is your reminder. You do not have classes that week because most of you are DOE and y'all are closed, most of you. But for those of you who are private organizations that we interact with, we do not have program that week. And then on February 22nd, which is another Saturday, which is 4th Saturday, we will not have Saturday Science Club, but myself and several volunteers will hang out with Moho Dance. You will see several flyers that are out. I already posted a flyer like 2 days ago. I shared their flyer for the event. And it is the whole event is free for the public. They are asking folks to register through Eventbrite, and that information is through their you can grab the links through Instagram and all that type of stuff, and we'll be sharing that throughout. Coming up, if you are a returning family, you know who you are because you got an email from me on Saturday. Remember I told you we're going to do returning families first for Summer Science Club 2025. Yay! Which will be running from August 7th. Beep, beep. Let me back up. From July 7th through August 8th, we will do all of our regular field trips. I am this year, let's make this announcement now. I am this year flipping, because every once in a while we flip between the Bronx Zoo and the aquarium. This year, the 3rd week's field trip will be the aquarium, New York Aquarium. And if you know anything about me, Miss Steph, random fact about Miss Steph is that I love aquariums. I enjoy aquariums quite deeply. And so that field trip will be that. So our 3rd week, you know, every week we go on a field trip. That is included in the fee that we do charge. And so that will be the 3rd week's field trip. Once again, we are not going to the Bronx Zoo unless something peculiar occurs. But we're not going to the Bronx Zoo this year. During Summer Science Club, we will be going to the aquarium instead. And so, yes, we will absolutely be going on our Liberty Science Center field trip. And if you've been with us for any period of time, you know that the Liberty Science Center field trip is open to the science club community. Your child does not have to attend all of Summer Science Club. They can come in different weeks, okay? And especially for the Liberty Science Center field trip, we do take responsible family members with us on that trip, and we also open that up to our science club community. So for our folks who are especially a part of the Saturday Science Club community, and maybe you are making the choice for whatever works best for your family, that you won't be joining us for summer, but you would like to participate in that field trip, know that I always open that field trip open to our Saturday Science and Summer Science Club community, all right, to go. And that field trip is going to be on August 7th. It's a Thursday. All of our field trips are on Thursday. Okay, if you're interested, talk to me now so that I can calculate you in and let you know the cost of just attending that day. Yes. Now, that is the only day that you can do like a one-time thing. In general, that's, but anyway, talk to me. We've already had lots of conversations. But unless we've had other conversations, but in general, that's our day that we do that. So super excited to move on to our activity for the day. Like I said, Saturday Science Club, Summer Science Club, the things. Yes. Wait, did you get, you know who I'm talking to? There's somebody watching. Let me know if I didn't email you, but you should have gotten an email from me on Saturday evening, since your child is a returning kid. If you did not, let me know and I will resend it. But yes, let's go ahead and hop into today's activity. The tray is back. You haven't seen the tray in a little while because we've been doing all of our dry activities. This activity, okay, good. Just making sure. I want to make sure I don't forget people. Y'all know how I feel. Community is super important to me, right? Camp, classes, community consulting, like that community, the community C is really important to me. And I want everyone to know that they're most welcome here at our community science club, right? So our tray is back, y'all. I mean, you could do whatever you want to, but I'm telling you now, this is one of the things that has been super helpful in running my activities. So I'm talking to, in this moment, to folks who try to do this at home or just at after school, whatever. Covering your tray, especially if you don't have a water source in the classroom, like if you don't have a sink, or if you're trying to do this activity at home with young people and you're trying to like minimize the mess or just minimize it getting out of hand. Covering the tray, you see how I've got it covered? Covering the tray is one of my tips that I will stand on. You can imagine me traveling around Harlem doing all the activities that I do. This is a major, major tip. Cover your tray. Not only do you want to have a tray, but cover it. And the tray should be pretty sturdy. These trays have been out and about and around to a lot of places. All right. So let's lower your image down once again. Live with Ms. Steph. Today is February 3rd, 2025. That's when I'm recording this video. For those of you watching at another time, thank you for watching the replay. Okay. Simple materials for this activity. Again, remember I told you this can be used. Y'all, I'm having trouble trying to get there we go. This activity is great for everyone. I mean, all the way from age 2. Yes, I did this with 2-year-olds this morning. Age 2 up to high school. Of course, you're going to differentiate your content as far as the writing responses you want from them. You know, you can do a quick little coloring worksheet if you want to have them color a picture. That's your like pre-K, as I call my twos, pre-K. But all the way up to high school, you can have them do a full lab report and really in depth, make them write out detailed procedure and detailed supplies as far as measuring the amounts of each thing, all that. But you can see this can go all the way up to everybody. There's a bunch of noise outside. I hope y'all are not hearing all that. And if you are, you know where I'm at. I already told you. Alrighty then. So, water. And again, no, this is not any special water. Do not buy special water for this unless that's part of the experiment. Okay, if you're trying to do some experimentation and say that you want to try different types of water and see how that reacts, fine, do that. But do not purchase, to do just this straightforward version of it, like do not purchase special water. I just use these bottles because they're super easy for me to transport. And it's a very sturdy, thick bottle. All right, this cup, okay, I want to double check before I tell y'all. This happens to be an 18-ounce cup. I've done this with all kinds of different size cups. This is an 18-ounce cup. I would not suggest using cups that are this big. If you're doing, say like if you're going to do 1 or like 2, sure, use that big of a cup. But you know me, I'm doing this activity with multiple sets of children in a classroom setting. I suggest more like anywhere between a 9-ounce to a 12-ounce cup. You want it filled halfway. You know, as an educator, now I'm talking to my like educated folk, right? You know what your students can handle, okay? But long story short, basically halfway. Do you want them to have to fill it up themselves? Do you want them to go to the sink? Say you have a water source in your room or that type of thing. Or do you want to give it to them like this? You make that decision, okay? All right, then you are going to use an excessive amount of shaving cream. Again, now you'll see why we're only doing halfway, okay? Because you don't want, the point of this is not to have it overflow. That's not the point. The point of this is to demonstrate what it looks like when rain or precipitation, mind you, that's water coming out of the clouds, okay? The idea is we're getting a model, a functioning model, a working model of a cloud, right? And I'm starting the water cycle, okay, with my students this week. And again, your different students have different levels of understanding. You know the understanding that your children have. But long story short, this can be done as young as 2 if you just want to get them to kind of see how shaving cream floats on top of water. You see all the science that's happening? A lot of it. This is absolutely not food, taste safe. So if you do this with your pre-K, okay, you need to watch them very, very closely, which is why I would suggest only doing, say, 1 model per table. When you have with the older children, yes, you have them do multiple models and they have to get you're supporting them in learning how to obtain materials, manage materials, all that type of stuff. Right? For the really littles, no, you're not doing all that. Okay? You do like 1 model per table because that minimizes the likelihood of you not being able to like keep an eye on it so that you don't have children that are eating it, right? Because this is not taste safe. Once again, welcome to Live with Ms. Steph. Hi. Thank you so much for watching and joining. As you can see, I'm putting on some food coloring. Can you use different colors other than blue? Absolutely. Now, in various cultures, in our society, most of our society, we associate because of how our ocean looks to us. Notice I say it that way. How our ocean looks from a distance. It's blue. Right? We tend to associate blue with water. All right? And so that's why I happen to use blue. Additionally, to do this without food coloring, you could do that, right? With your older students in high school and really have them look very, very closely at the changes that might happen when they're adding their additional water to their cloud, right? But for the younger children, it's very hard for them to see the distinction without any food coloring, for them to see anything happen. Now, again, remember I said that we're not trying to make this overflow, and so your tray being covered is just going to be kind of helpful for you. But it's not mandatory but it is absolutely one of my tips. All right, so let's review what's inside of here. You see how quickly I put that together. Half full or less with regular water. Is that a place you can add a variance? Absolutely. Go back to a few years ago. If you check out on my YouTube channel, I do have a version of me really going in depth on the water cycle and using 3 different temperatures of water. And you'll see how changing the temperature varies the response, which makes sense, right? Because we know, right? Here in New York City, we got a little bit of a snow dusting last night, right? So precipitation, we still got precipitation, but it's a different kind of precipitation, right? Because it's colder. In the summertime, it's only rain. Well, anywho, the majority of the precipitation that we get is rain. Every once in a while we get hail for various reasons, which is a deeper conversation, but just your basics, right? We're just going into the basics. We're trying to get them interested in these levels of science, okay? These different concepts. So yes, half full with water. And then you saw I put an ignorance, an unmeasured amount of shaving cream. That's another part of the conversation when you're working with much older students, say your high school chemistry students. Like, how would we measure how much shaving cream? You maybe by the thickness or the density or the weight of the can before and after adding the shaving cream. You see how you can make these activities even deeper by using the same materials. Okay? So yes, so I stand really firm on that ground of this can be used with ages 2 all the way up to high school. Firmly do I say that. All right, so now you're going to add some water. You can go around the table, say if you have several children at the table, and they patiently add a little bit of water at a time. The food coloring that I added, again, we talked about why it's blue. Does it have to be blue? No, absolutely not. But you do need some food coloring. I would not do this without food coloring for anybody under grade 10. It's just not entertaining. Also, like I said, it's hard for children to really differentiate what's happening. And that's part of being a scientist, is observing. I am going to aim for the center. Notice, do I have food coloring in the center? No, I don't. But I'm going to aim for the center, okay? For my first batch of water. Very little water. How much water am I putting in? That's another thing that can be measured. Very little water. You see how I got a bit of a reaction. Did it come all the way down? No, it didn't, right? So this models like those days where it feels like the clouds are kind of on top of us, but the water hasn't fully come out. You get what's going on, okay? And so rain or any form of precipitation, when does that occur? That occurs when after the water has evaporated, is condensation stuck in the clouds, and then there's but so much water the clouds can hold. And we get precipitation. Okay? Because remember, the food coloring didn't come out until I added more water. Okay? See? And how do I know that the water has come through? Because I'm getting some coloring. I'm still getting this kind of layer that's heavy, like that heavy cloud. And now let's add some more water. You saw the first time I just put some water in the center, okay? And then I poured around the second time, and now this time I just added water in the center again, and I still am getting some blue come all the way out, okay? See? Now, would I have the students pick up the cup? Absolutely not. They don't need to. But I do have them come down and look at the side. This, again, is another reason why that's why I gave you the sizes of the cups. This one, it does matter, the size of the cup. I have attempted this activity with these cups. They're way too small. They can't see what's happening. And then you get the shaving cream all over the place, and they're trying to pour it in. Way too much to manage. Okay? And again, the big cup is if you're sitting around, you can imagine you have kids sitting around the table. That's why the 9 ounce to 12 ounce is perfect for a group of kids, say upper elementary. Okay? But don't use these little cups. Because if you can imagine you're trying to put shaving cream, and don't do it. You're just going to stress yourself out. I mean, you could try, but if you're looking for tips from me, that's one of my tips. Because I've already done it with the little cups. And now we have our storm. Once again, it's live with Ms. Steph, Monday, February 3rd, 2025. Thank you so much for watching. This is water. We've got water, shaving cream, whatever brand you want. It must be shaving cream. You know how sometimes there's like the gel and the butters in it. No. Shaving cream, if I were you, I would pick the cheapest stuff that you can, the cheapest but still reasonable, fluffy performance, right? Because you're trying to make a model of the cloud. Some food coloring, any food coloring works. Dollar store food coloring is perfect for this because it is very, very thin. And that's actually even better than my nice fancy gel food coloring, okay? And another smaller cup. The smaller cup helps the students know that they're not going to put too much water in here, right? And you just keep pouring. It's kind of meditative almost, pouring the water. And then, of course, they can do their laboratory report after this if that's part of what you're trying to get done. Sometimes that's not what you're trying to do, but they can do a lab report after this. On Saturday, we don't do laboratory reports, and so the kids will just kind of see what happens, right? I had someone earlier ask me, so what do I do after this? You have two options. Dump it out. Okay? Because it's shaving cream and food coloring and water and go down the sink very easily, right? 1, 2, 3, done. Or you can let it sit for a couple of hours, especially for like very young children. That particular site, hi y'all, if you're watching, you know who you are. And all of my other pre-PK early childhood sites throughout the week, they can set it somewhere where the children aren't going to accidentally bump it, right? Because you've got half a cup of liquid here. Set it, and we did our experiment this morning, and then in the afternoon, then they can look at it one more time, say before they go home, or right before playtime, or after nap, right? You can set it somewhere and see what happens. Does the food coloring mix in more? These are questions that you ask, right? Will the food coloring mix in more? Will I see more food coloring? Does it mix in automatically with the shaving cream, or does it stay like this? Will I get more food coloring that will eventually fall? How close to the actual water cycle is this particular model? These are questions that you can ask and then answer through observations, right? So yeah. Been live with Ms. Steph. Thank you so much for watching. If you are interested in supporting us now and helping us prepare for Summer Science Club, some of you have already asked me how to make that happen, and guess what? Yes, you can do that. I've shared with you all before that we do, if you choose to make that distinction when you make your contribution, you say, hey, we want this to be used for Summer Science Club, you totally can make that distinction, and we honor your request, right? As nonprofits, we have to honor your request. Or you can send us support along the lines of, hey, use for all things Science Club. That's literally one of the funds that's there available on our giving page. All things Science Club, and that means we use it for whatever we need, for materials. It goes to supporting staff. It goes towards managing different things, getting me from point A to point B, all those types of things. I am super thankful for all of you, like I said, who have already started to engage, who are already asking about Summer Science Club, either to register or to volunteer, all that type of stuff. We are going to have a great time. And that's pretty much it. Yeah. Have an absolutely wonderful day.